So we're upset with the Democrats. Of course, we're upset with the Republicans, but we're upset with the opposition party that doesn't oppose. Elizabeth Warren has been a bright spot for the Democrats, although we all here feel that she didn't really stick her chin out when it mattered and when it could have made a difference, which is during the primary. She's kept her powder dry so she could really give it to Donald Trump in favor of a candidate who's in bed with Wall Street, Big Pharma, fossil fuel industry. Is there anyone else I'm leaving out? Big Pharma, military-industrial complex.
You did say Wall Street.
Yeah. So most recently, and I'm like, well, hey, if you want to go after, she went after the head of Wells Fargo. We did a video about it. And our whole thing, it's all theater because nothing's changing. That guy's not going to jail. I know it. You know it. Nothing's changing. Throw that guy in jail. That's not going to happen. Because the guy who was going to throw those people in jail, you didn't back during the primary, so you get her upsetness, right, with Elizabeth Warren. So I saw, reading this is from the 21st of September in the International Business Times. It says Elizabeth Warren tells Hillary Clinton not to hire Wall Street donors, which I'm sure is advice Hillary is going to take to heart. In fact, I'm sure her Wall Street donors, who she's picked to pick all the people she's supposed to hire.
I have a feeling Clinton is just going to tell Elizabeth Warren to knock it off.
Oh, maybe she should just say knock it off.
I'm afraid that when Hillary gets elected, the banks will come and repossess her.
Nice joke. So inside this article, it says that here she was on Wednesday. She's had a message for Clinton, said, don't staff your White House with your Wall Street donors.
Too late.
In a speech to the Center for American Progress, which was set up and is run by former Clinton aides, the Massachusetts Democratic senator said groups backing Clinton's election campaign should be focused on making sure that a prospective Clinton administration is run by those who intend to enact a progressive agenda. Like Tim Kaine and Ken Salazar. What the F? Oh, my God. During the campaign, Clinton has refused to endorse calls to reinstate the Glass-Steagall Act, a Depression-era regulatory check on banks, which some critics of Wall Street say is necessary to prevent another financial crisis. And those critics would be Sandy Weill, the guy who it was his idea to get rid of Glass-Steagall. Sandy Weill, who was the head of Travelers. Sandy Weill, who became the head of the biggest money corporation in the history of the world. Sandy Weill. He's one of those guys who says we should reinstate Glass-Steagall. Him.
And it's interesting. The Democratic platform calls for reinstating Glass-Steagall. The Republican platform calls for reinstating Glass-Steagall.
But neither of the candidates are calling for it.
Yeah, Hillary hasn't said word one about it.
Not word one. And, that's the thing. When Sandy Weill comes out against Glass-Steagall repeal, that's like Chris Christie coming out against deep frying. You listen a little closer. This is also in the article. It said she also refused to rule out appointing a Wall Street executive as Secretary of the Treasury. So she's not going to She's not going to reinstate Glass-Steagall. She hasn't ruled out appointing a Wall Street person as the Secretary of the Treasury. This is according more in the article. She says, I know that personnel is policy, she told the group, but let me be clear. When we talk about personnel, we don't mean advisors who just pay lip service to Hillary's bold agenda, coupled with a sigh, a knowing glance, and a twiddling of thumbs until it's time for the next swing through the revolving door, serving government, then going back to the very same industries they regulate. That is what's going to happen in a Clinton administration. I don't know what kind of fantasy land Elizabeth Warren is living in. This is all just talk. This is all talk. This is all for the cameras or for the newspaper. I don't know who this is for, but this is all talk.
Oh, this is not all talk, Jimmy. Hillary, just the other day, she wrote an open letter about the Wells Fargo incident, and she says she was deeply disturbed by it. Hillary Clinton wrote that. So I don't know what you mean about these are just words.
Wow, that's weird because Hillary Clinton, they got millions of dollars from Wells Fargo. Isn't that weird? The Clintons, they got personally. Here, hang on. Before we jump ahead, Morgan Stanley's vice chairman is Tom Nides. He himself went through the revolving door for the Clinton-led department, Clinton-led State Department, to his current position on Wall Street. He was at Morgan Stanley just before Clinton appointed him to his State Department position. Donors from Need's firm have delivered more than $700,000 to Clinton's 2 presidential bids, according to data from the Nonpartisan Center for Responsive Politics. And Need's himself is listed on Clinton's website as a Hillblazer who has personally raised more than $100,000 for the campaign.
Wow, what's the interest rate on that?
Wow. So I'm over at CNN Politics. And they have, if you look right up here, it says total Bill and Hillary Clinton speech income, February 2001 through May 2015. Are you ready for this? $153,669,000.
Wow.
An average of $210,000 per speech. Total speeches, 729 speeches during those 14 years. So that's not that many speeches per year for 14 years. But $155 million is a lot of money.
To be fair, Jimmy, those were amazing speeches.
Now,
wow.
Bill got the most of that money. He earned $132 million, but Hillary herself was no slouch. She got $21,648,000 from April 2013 through March 2015. So just in 2 years, Hillary knocked it out of the park. She got $21 million, an average of $235,000 per speech, and that's for 92 speeches in 2 years. She was really working hard for Wall Street. Wow.
So that's why I hope Hillary will fight for equal pay for women.
And now for their income, they so that's that. So I guess a lot of that money went to the Clinton Foundation, which is their own private organization that pays all their operatives that work for them.
Yes.
But personally, they took in $7.7 million. It says Bill and Hillary's income from big banks, at least $7.7 million for at least 39 speeches. Hillary's income from the big banks was $1.8 million for 8 speeches. So that's their personal income. So there you go. So I wonder why the banking system gets to do whatever the hell they want. They're a criminal organization that's based on fraud. Not just one type of fraud. They just will keep moving on to different types of fraud. It's all based on fraud. What Wells Fargo just had to pay $185 million fine and fire over 5,000 people, but nobody knew what was going on. It's based on fraud. So the banks, again, they're doing it again, and they're going to crash again, and you're going to have Hillary as president, and it's going to be horrible. And by the way, we're going to have a Republican Congress and Senate for the rest of your life, so just get used to that because of this election, all right? Remember, Trump is not the problem. He's a symptom of 30 years of neoliberalism. And what are they offering people to fix that? More neoliberalism. And this is goofy. That's why Elizabeth Warren has to give these speeches that mean nothing. She got Tim Kaine as her vice president. He wants more deregulation of Wall Street. He's a right-to-work guy. He's unbelievable. This is
America will break up the banks, but not before everyone is broke.
You are exactly right. There you go. Good for you. I appreciate the try, Elizabeth Warren. I really appreciate the try. It ain't going to do anything. Thanks for the words. That's all it is lip service now from Elizabeth Warren. Lip service, lip service. You know when lip service would have mattered? During the primary.
How about Elizabeth Warren urges Hillary Clinton to release those transcripts?
How about that? How about we'd like to hear what she said to those banks? What did you say to them?
You know what? I would like to be that inspired too. If they're paying $225,000 on up, what's the inspiration behind those?
Yes,
I need that inspiration.
And this is a perfect opportunity for Hillary to show that she's not bought. That in the face of this ridiculous fraud by Wells Fargo, that she's willing to be really, really vocal, that she's willing to go out there and scare her donors.
Yeah.
But you know, it's interesting. Elizabeth Warren, you say it's lip service, but Nancy Pelosi, House Leader Nancy Pelosi, said that Elizabeth Warren does not represent the party.